I was taking care of a pet for a friend of mine that I had watched numerous times, and I walk in to find her eyes covered in mucus. It didn't matter how many times I tried to wipe it away. She couldn't breathe, her nostrils were so inflamed. She had only been staying with us for 3 days, and nothing like this had ever happened, and her health plummeted. I knew that something was terribly wrong. And long story short, the vet said that had she not been taken in that night, she would not have made it through the night. And in that moment, I finally knew what had been causing all of my health issues that I had been struggling with for 2 years up to this point. It was the mold. I felt like I couldn't feel joy or happiness for the things I loved doing. I stopped doing the things I loved doing. I quit writing. I basically shut down my shop that I'd worked so hard for. I stopped hanging out with any friends. Even after showing the doctors the mold in the house, the rashes I had, and asking if we could just do a mycotoxin test, I just kept getting met with, well, let's try testing your hormones first, or it might be your thyroid, or it does sound like depression. So I would listen. The tests would come back that my hormone levels were fine, my thyroid was fine, and they still wouldn't test me for mold. In hindsight, I knew that I didn't need to go on meds and that it was something else I was dealing with, but I figured, well, the doctors know best, so I'm gonna trust their insight, their wisdom, like they're the doctor, you know? And I wish I would have trusted my instinct, because needless to say, the meds worked until they didn't, and I was not warned about the black box warning, and I didn't figure that out until I had to learn the hard way when I tried to get off the meds once I realized that they weren't working. On one occasion, I was driving to work and I could not control my eyes. I just started to fall asleep at the wheel in Atlanta traffic. It was already hard enough to convince myself and believe that I could make it through and that this was just withdrawal symptoms, don't give up, when on top of that, I was dealing with psychosis, none of which I was informed on could be a potential outcome if I came off the medication. I was not prepared for how debilitating the depressive symptoms would be afterwards, to the point where I, for the first time ever in my life, was actively planning how I could no longer exist here in the way that I do now. Conventional medicine just kept treating my symptoms and kept offering me a different type of SSRI. And I just knew that that route was not going to give me the help that I needed. And so that is where Riordan came in. When I had my first consultation at the Riordan Clinic with Dr. Ron, it was night and day. We tested for mold. We did 13 pages worth of blood work front and back. When the lab results came back, I was 100% dealing with mold toxicity. The normal range is 7.5 or lower for the strain that I had. I was at 21.55, all the way in the red. I've been on the treatment plan for about 6 months, and now I've been able to have enough energy to write music again and reopen the shop. I've been spending time with friends and reconnecting. I feel like me again, and I didn't think I would be feeling the way I do now and that I would ever get any answers. And so even though I had a really strong support system at home, Dr. Ron and Riordan Clinic gave me a gift that no one else would have been able to give me, and that's hope. Thank you, Dr. Ron.